Good evening and welcome to the Gay Liberation Network live call-in show on CAN TV. This evening we are going to be talking about Standing Rock and the North Dakota Access Pipe Line. And we have a special guest with us this evening, Alicia Crosby from the Center for Inclusivity. And introduce yourself and the Center for Inclusivity, please.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me with you. As Brett shared, my name is Alicia Crosby. I am the Executive Director and Co-Founder of Center for Inclusivity, and our organizational heart is to look at the intersection of faith, gender, and sexuality and help cultivate and support inclusive communities being built at that intersection. And so we've been in operations for about a year and a half now, rooted here in Chicago. And it's been the greatest joy of my life starting this organization with my co-founder, Jason Bilbrey.
Alicia has actually been to Standing Rock and where the Dakota Access Pipe Line is going in, and we will be getting into that topic in depth shortly. First, we want to show you some information about some upcoming actions. Gay Liberation Network is Chicago's direct action group focused around LGBT issues, and on this Sunday we're going to be participating in the March for Abortion Rights downtown at 1 p.m. on Sunday, January 15th. This is at Federal Plaza or right around there on Dearborn Street. It's a counter-protest for the March for Life that's a big pro-life group that's there. Next, we want you to be aware of various protests that are going on downtown on this coming next Friday, 1 week from today, protesting the president-elect's inauguration. And there's one group starting at 3 p.m. at Daley Plaza, and they will be marching toward Trump Tower, arriving about 5 p.m., where a different group will be continuing the protest there. Please make plans to come and participate in the festivities. And if you are interested in going to Washington, D.C. To protest the inauguration, there will be some buses leaving on Thursday the 19th, and you can get more information on those buses at the website that is on your screen right now, answerchicago.org. On Saturday, following the inauguration, is the Women's March on Chicago, happening in Grant Park at the Petrillo Ranch, 10 a.m. on Saturday. That is the plan. So this is a live call-in show. We will be taking callers. We're going to get into our topic first for a few minutes, and then we'll speak to callers as they come in. We wanted to give you some background of the situation that is what's going on at Standing Rock. Many people have gone to this site, which is in North Dakota. As you can see here in the picture, Native Americans as well as people from all over the country to protest the activities going on there. And the activity in particular that is going on there is the Dakota Access Pipe Line project. It is a pipeline to bring oil, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, oil from North Dakota to end up in Illinois. So actually coming very close to us here, as you can see on this map. And the place where the most protests are occurring is on your map. If you can see where North Dakota and South Dakota are, right where they meet, where the green dots cross the border, that is the location of the Sioux Nation's reservation. And we'll have another slide here that will show you more detail about the Sioux Nation's reservations in that part of the world. The place that we are speaking of is on this map on the upper left of your screen. It is the larger reservation that is in yellow there. It is right at the confluence of the Missouri River and the Grand River there. And Alicia has been there, so Alicia knows some things about this map.
Yeah, What's been interesting to see is, the location of everything. We're looking at this map, excuse me, and you're seeing the coming together of a nation, right? So when you see and hear about indigenous Native Americans, you're talking about succinct individual nations of people, groupings of people who have lived all throughout this country before the country as we know it began. So when we're taking a look at this map, we're looking at lands, sacred lands that have been there for generations, but have been broken up for, treaties, broken up for U.S. expansion over time. We're seeing, the effects of colonization. And so, like, when we start speaking about the Dakota Access Pipe Line, that's what we're speaking about. We're speaking about colonized lands and the effects of colonization on peoples.
And this controversy about this pipeline right now, tell us about like why that arose, what the reason that the Native Americans are particularly involved in this, and
Absolutely. So the challenge with the Dakota Access Pipeline that gave birth to a movement, and at this point, I believe it's one of the longest sustained protests and movements in our nation's history. It's rooted in the development of this oil pipeline, as you saw in one of the maps shown earlier, that spanned 4 states. And this pipeline is carrying crude oil that honestly can seep out at any point in time. And so what happened was in, I think, April of 2016, Energy Transfer Partners, which is the organization that's actually leading the way on development of this pipeline project, proposed that this pipeline be routed and go through Bismarck. Bismarck is a major city in North Dakota. It's also predominantly white in population. And the citizens of Bismarck said, absolutely not. You're not going to put this pipeline here. You're not going to endanger our soil and our water should there be pipeline leaks. And we have seen leaks over the years take place. So in response to that, the partners with Energy Transfer and associated organizations decided, hey, so let's go on other land. Let's go on native lands. And so they started looking to indigenous lands to put this pipeline through, and putting it through sacred burial sites, putting it through, reservation and treaty lands. And the indigenous peoples in the areas, the Dakota people said absolutely not. And that gave birth to this movement that we see starting in North Dakota.
so basically they said the same thing that the people of Bismarck said, but so far they haven't got the line moved yet.
Unfortunately, no. One of the challenges that you see in situations like this, it goes down to race and the ways in which white supremacy operates. And I think that that's definitely what we're seeing. Individuals who were living in Bismarck had the capacity, and when I say capacity, I mean their words were honored because white supremacy in that moment was honored. But when you're looking specifically at indigenous folks, people of color who have supported this movement, their voices haven't been honored in the same ways, at least not without the sustained effort towards water protection.
So Alicia, as I said, has been there on site, and there's some pictures on your screen that we'll be showing that Alicia took for Windy City Times. Tell us real quick, kind of why the water protection concept, and then let's get into the current situation.
Awesome. Yeah. So the individuals who are engaged in resistance at Standing Rock call themselves water protectors because they wanted it to be understood that this wasn't just a protest. This wasn't just resistance. This was resistance that rooted in deep ceremony and prayer. Prayer is one of the 7 Lakota values. And with this being Lakota lands, there was an understanding that we are guests of the nation, and that we, as much as possible, would submit ourselves and humble ourselves. Humility is another one of those Lakota values. The guidance of the elders. And so in that, the group is known as water protectors because that's just what they were doing. They were protecting the water, protecting the land, protecting the people, and engaged in when I'm telling you like some deep ceremonial practices, you were encouraged coming into the camp and going to training. That was one of the things that was asked of us as guests of the Lakota Nation. To act as if you were in ceremony at all times, to be in prayer to whatever your higher power was, whether that be Mother Earth, it be whatever it is that you conceive your spirituality being beyond you, you were asked to connect to that source and move and act in such a way. Was the way that direct action took place there.
Thank you. We have a caller. If we can have that connected. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on with y'all? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, what's happening, man? Good show, Mr. Gator Bradley. Appreciate you, man. You know, keep on blessing us with your presence. We love y'all out here, man. Us before me. This show buddy calling in from my aunt. What's happening, baby?
Okay. Thank you. I had a hard time hearing
we had
that.
a little bit of a difficult time hearing. But thanks for the love. We did feel that.
Yes. And there is another caller, so we'll take that real quick. Hello, caller. All right. So currently, the current situation is it is winter there and it's super cold, and you've been there in the cold time. Not
as cold as it is right now. I had gone with a group from here in Chicago over the Observe Thanksgiving holiday. We actually, myself and a friend, organized a decolonized Thanksgiving trip where we looked at a time where we celebrate family and togetherness and hold that intention with the reality of the brutalization and the erasure of peoples. And we took a group out to Standing Rock during that time. And while it was cold and snowy, it definitely isn't the degree of plains winter that they're experiencing right now. The weather in North Dakota in Standing Rock is about 30 below. It's incredibly cold. It's harsh wintertime there. And where you saw over that weekend in particular, close to 15,000 people being in camp. Camp has been stripped down to the bare minimum, like people who were rooted in the area before everything started, and then those who were prepared to navigate through the harshness of a brutal winter like that.
Mm-hmm. And the government pulled their permits in early December, is that when it happened? For the Energy Transfer Partners Group to do construction. So construction at this moment has been stopped as far as we know. However, some of the work is underground, so
it's been legally halted, and that's one of the things to note. ETP, after the Army Corps of Engineers said that there was some more discovery they needed to do to look at the different the different ecological options that they had to proceed with the program or to suspend it. ETP put out a statement the next day saying, "We'll incur whatever fines. We'll do what we have to do. We want to complete this project." But for right now, between the intervention and what's happening in the court system, things have been suspended.
We have another caller. Hello, caller.
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, my name is James. Can you hear me?
Barely, but yes.
Okay, my name is James. Okay, well, y'all come back to South Dakota, the Americans, right?
We all came back to South Dakota?
Okay, South Dakota, right? But they get less attention from the media, and other people get more attention, like President Obama and Donald Trump. Why is that?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely a valid question. Thank you for raising it. I think that's definitely one of the things that we do need to question and ask, why are our eyes not on the pipelines? And I say pipelines because Dakota Access Project pipeline isn't the only one in the nation. It's not even the only one in North America. There are pipeline projects that are taking place and being built through other indigenous lands and communities where people of color are all around North America. So we're seeing this in Canada, we're seeing it in Mexico, we're seeing it in Texas, Florida, New Mexico. Our eyes need to be all across the country asking questions. Like when these pipelines are being built, we need to be asked who is suffering, whose lands are these pipelines running through, And what is the ecological cost? What is the cost to human life, to environmental life in that area?
And the biggest corporate media, may not be covering this a lot, but it is getting coverage so that there are people that are going to the site and fighting for this. And these include, people all across the country. I know friends that I've had that have gone say, people have quit their jobs to move to the camp because they are strong enough in their belief about what's the wrong that is being done here in this part of the country, and the concern that even though the government has stopped this right now, we do have a change of administration coming up, and that the Trump administration may change, and freely permit the construction to continue. Just to a note of, the Two-Spirit camp at Standing Rock is pictured here, and the Two-Spirit concept in some Native American tribes and background is a kind of a bridge or a way to express the LGBT experience, and so a variety of people are getting there as well as participating. And I really wanted to say that in August, the largest gathering of Native Americans in over 100 years in North America occurred at this site. So Native Americans are hearing about this. They know about what's going on. Do we really know what's going on? Anything else to share about this?
Absolutely. I'd add to that, with media outlets who are paying attention, I mean, you have to give credit to some of these local outlets. Windy City Media, specifically the Windy City Times, brought me on as a freelancer, so I was able to take photographs there with the camp's permission and work with a number of people who traveled with me to produce some articles speaking about the experience, to bring back some perspective on what had happened there, what it is to be an Indigenous person. I did some interviews with people within the Two-Spirit Nation camp, which actually is up on the Windy City Times website if anyone wants to take a look. And there are some local activists, religious leaders, and the like who've also been tapped to share their stories.
There's some groups that we're going to put on the site. Why don't you talk about each quickly?
Yeah. IP3 Action is a website for the Indigenous People Power Project, and they led out the direct action training at Standing Rock. They're empowering Indigenous peoples and allies around the country to pay attention to pipeline projects and to be a part of resistance. Another website to pay attention to is waterprotectorlegal.org. These legal minds are helping people who've received charges there. They've been fundraising and helping to pay bails and what have you. Lots of legal information. Anything you want to know related to legality at Standing Rock would be through that website.
Thank you very much, Alicia. Thank you for your witness of being there on site.
Thank you for having me. Thank y'all.
So again, we're going to tell you about some upcoming direct action here in Chicago that you can participate in. And on this Sunday, please come out and march for abortion rights, the right of privacy that our government has granted, which also gives LGBT people a lot of benefits, is all from the Roe versus Wade decision. Please protect that. 1 p.m. Sunday, this Sunday. And Trump's inauguration is coming up a week from today. Please come out 3 p.m. Daily Plaza to march to Trump Tower, and then continue marching and opposing what Trump offers. If you want to go to D.C., there are buses leaving. Go to answerchicago.org for more information. And on Saturday the 21st, the Women's March on Chicago is here at Grant Park, Saturday the 21st at 10 a.m. Many people looking forward to that. It will be a great time with people together.